Hello and welcome to Crow Wing FPV. I'm Matt, and this episode is completely filmed 100% with Insta360 products. So what I'm using is the Insta360 One R, which is what I'm talking to right now, and I'm using the 360 mod for it. And I'm flying with the SMO 4K, which is just a naked version of the One R. It's a long video, and I kind of feel that I had to make it long just to kind of cover everything that I wanted to kind of cover. And so at the beginning, it's just going to be me outside, outdoors, flying some quads, kind of talking about the Insta360. There is a nice little crash with it, and that crash is with my new Nazgul 5. Yeah. So you'll see that here in a little bit. I am going to show, like an example of the 360 video that's mounted to my vehicle driving down a city street on both day and nighttime with some transition there, some speed ramps. So there's going to be some cool stuff in that. I'm also, towards the second half of the video, I'm going to be in the studio. And when I say studio, I mean the Insta360 Studio 2021, the latest version of it. And that program is just awesome. It's probably the best free action cam software I've ever used. You can also use a lot of the same things that you can do on your computer. You can also do on your phone, and right through the Insta360 app. So you could edit everything right on your phone and click the send button. So Insta360 did a fantastic job with these cameras. There are some flaws, and I'll kind of go over that in the video. Right now, you're probably going to see a little bit of a flaw because it is dark in here and it's low light. And these cameras don't do the greatest in low light scenarios, such as this. I do have a couple lights shining on me just so that you can see me. But up here and around and stuff like that, it's probably a little grainy and losing some quality. And that's because it has a smaller sensor to it. Now, if this was using the Leica 1-inch mod that they have available for it, that does very, very well in low light situations. Unfortunately, I don't have that mod for it. I don't have the lens. I will probably pretty soon have that just because I really like Insta360. So yeah, I am putting in chapters to make it a little easier to navigate through the video. So take a look and enjoy, and thank you for watching. Alright, so here we are. We're at my favorite place to be out and flying. Main reason is because there's never anybody here, big and open, and I don't have to worry about killing somebody with one of these. So, with what I said on my previous episode was that I was going to do a video where I'm only using Insta360 to do everything. And that's what I'm doing. So, because I don't have a third one that I can record everything with, I'm going to use this to do recording of that. There you go. But yeah, so I'm going to put this quad up in the air with the SMO 4K, and I'm going to record everything on this, which is using the 360 lens kit. So, I want to talk a little bit more about Insta360. I'm not flying the 360 mod or even the full-on 1R. And the reason behind that is because I do use that for my business. So, I don't want to damage it. Otherwise, I'd throw it on here. But I have the SMO 4K for doing that type of stuff. It runs fantastic. It does a very, very good job. The flow state stabilizing on there is really damn good. I haven't used the GoPro 9 or 10, so I can't really compare it with that. What I will say is that the flow state on SMO 4K is better than, in my opinion, than the hyper smooth on the GoPro Hero 8. So that's something to think about too. The best part of it is that, like, right now I'm flying it. I'm just recording at 4K is what I'm recording at on the quad. And then in post, I can just go in there and I can change up the angles. I can change up if I want stabilization on, if I want stabilization off. I can do stabilization on a certain part of it. I can do, it's wonderful. It's fantastic. And then the 360 mod is actually also fantastic. And I'm going to show you a video here that I did for an upcoming promotional video that I'm working on, where I'm going to use some footage using the Insta360 One R in the 360 mode, where I was driving down the downtown city, and I recorded it both daytime and night, and there's some transitions between day and night on this place. And you know, the 360 video is not bad as far as a 360 video goes. There is better out there, sure, but you're gonna be spending a lot more money, and it's not as usable and not as flexible as the One R is, and that's a beautiful thing. Plus, the One R Studio is incredible. It really, really, really is incredible. I will take that, and I'll take the raw footage, and I will do a lot of things in the studio to make it look really good. For instance, you'll see some speed ramps, and those speed ramps are done through the studio, and it's an amazing speed ramp. The blur, the motion blur on it is like perfect. And then, you know, I'll export it out and I'll bring it into Premiere, where I do more editing with other footage and stuff like that. So anyway, take a look at this. So if you're looking for a really good, versatile camera that's going to be able to do, 360 degree video. If you're looking for an action cam that's waterproof, you can get like the Twin R edition of the One R, where you get the 4K mod plus the 360 mod, or you can do the Leica 1-inch mod, which is, I don't have one, but I've seen footage of it, and it does a fantastic job. And part of the issue that I have with Insta360 with this One R is it's grainy at low light situations. It doesn't do the greatest job. The 360 photos, it doesn't do the greatest job. I do use it in my business for doing, like, I have virtual tours that I do for real estate photography, and I have two different versions. I have the free one that I'm throwing out right now as a kind of a promotion, free 360 virtual tour. That I use this on, but I also have to run every photo in post. I have to run it through Topaz Labs Sharpen AI in order for it to look good, because it's just too blurry, and I don't know why it's blurry. The other day I was out here in the woods, and I was doing kind of a virtual tour of an area that I plan on using for portrait photography this fall, and I'm like, okay, I'll just use this, and no matter what I do, even running it through Sharpen AI, the photos just don't look that good. But it's not really a photo camera, it's a video camera, and the 360 video is actually pretty damn good. So let's fly some more. So for those of you who've been following along, I never fly 5-inch. I had a 5-inch a long time ago, and I flew it a couple times, whatever, and I just but I picked up this Nazgul 5 for a really good price. It's the first version, which is fine. It was cheaper than building one, and it was only flown a couple times. I changed out I reprinted all new TPU. It was gray, now it's red to kind of match my colors. So let's get on with this. Oh yeah, there's me. All right, let's get it on. Cord here. All right. And I think I just lost my glasses. So this is the SMO 4K. And as you notice, it's a really, really cloudy day out, which honestly I prefer. I think it works much better for video reasons because there's no shadows, there's no glare, there's no super bright areas. Like when I do photography, portraits, and even real estate photography, I prefer a day like this over a sunny day. Because look, it doesn't matter where I turn, everything is the same. I'm not getting washed out from the sun, I'm not getting dark spots, you can see just everything. So now, I don't do freestyle. I don't really care for freestyle. I think it's cool, and I completely respect what those guys can do. But I like smooth, just nice cinematic flying. To me, it's more fun. And I'm not saying that what they do is crap. It's not. It's amazing. It's just not for me. Now, it doesn't mean I still won't do some flips and rolls. Like that. Or a power loop. But I'm just not all crazy with it. And not very good either. Wow. First time that's ever happened. Holy crap. I think I did some damage on that one. Not good. I think I saw something fly off of it. Yep. SMO 4K. Oh no. Well, it looks alright. But if that happened, it means I lost my footage. Great. Yeah, it's wonderful. The only downfall I have is, or the only issue I have, and I'm kind of pissed about it, is that because this got unplugged, I now lost the footage that I had. And another new little scratch on the lens. It's not bad. This thing is beat to hell. Alright. So that's it for right now. This is the SMO 4K footage in the Insta360 Studio. Now, as you can see, everything is just kind of gray. And the reason for that is I have my camera set to do to run in a log form. So it's going to record everything kind of like bland.
so that I could add more color to it. You can do a little bit more with it. It's like when you take a photograph, you can do it with a camera. You can do it in RAW, or you can do it in like JPEG or something like that. Well, JPEG doesn't have any information. It's just the pure info or data just for the photo that you're seeing. Where RAW has all the information, so you can bring more color out, you could bring more exposure, you can get more detail out of it. Well, it's the same thing when you record and log. And that's what this is. So that's why it looks the way that it looks right now. And that will change. Okay, so here I'm in post and I recorded at 4K. So up here I can choose if I want flow state or not, if I want stabilization. So let me go here. Just gonna click play. As you can see, it's flow state right now, and for whatever reason, I am getting some jello here, as you can see, and that has a lot to do with the mount that I was using. It caused some jello when I was flying on the 5-inch, so that just means I had to use a different mount, so that's good. Now, if I take the flow state off, you'll notice, you know, it's a little more herky, a little more jerky. Turn the flow state on. Man, now it goes back to being extremely smooth. And Insta360 does a fantastic job of this, and I absolutely love, let me turn this sound off. I absolutely love the fact that you can do this after you record, where you cannot do that with a GoPro. You can't choose if you want stabilization or not. If you're going to use real steady go, then you have to record in with no stabilization, period. Or here, it doesn't matter. On the Insta360, it does not matter. Now, here's another thing that I absolutely adore. Check this out. You can change your field of view. So pretty much what this does is it records at the most widest that it possibly has. More so than a 4K. So that it has room to adjust the screen or adjust the video for shaking, for vibrations, for jerky movements and stuff like that. But that also allows for you to come in here and change the way your video looks. So here is a fantastic example of the different options you can choose for the field of view. So here is action view. And I'm going to put it on to ultra wide here just to show you. So action view actually squishes what's up on top and what's up on bottom and kind of brings it in so you can see everything. But it distorts it a little bit. Are you going to notice that flying a quad or driving down the road or something like that? Probably not. But if you look at my face here, you can see that it really squashes my head. And then just going to keep going and going and going. And it pretty much focuses in on that. Now, FPV mode, as you can see, kind of does like a fisheye and kind of stretches everything out a little bit. It focuses more here in the center, and everything else on the side is kind of fisheyed. Horizon lock, it can only do so much. I had that camera at quite an angle. So it's trying to lock onto the horizon. So I just shows you the little differences here. And aqua vision is if you're underwater, which we don't deal with, so we don't care about that. I kind of like the wide option personally, but so now if I want to export this, I can just cut out like the sections that I don't want. Like for instance, when I was landing there, don't really need that. So we can cut that out like that. We can trim it. At the beginning, I was kind of sitting here setting things up, and I was kind of jabber-jawing a little bit. So let's just see here. And I can just trim that up like so. And this is what I love to do. I can change where I want it to go. I'm just going to send it right here to Insta360. directory, and let's just call it whatever. Let's just call it Nazgul 5 1. There we go. So here you can change the resolution. If you want to take it down to be 1080p, you can do that. You can change encoding to 265. You can also do it in ProRes 422. 264 is fine. 265 is good. Now you can add Color Plus to this, and then you can add it to your queue, which is going to put it right over here, and it's going to allow you to continue working. I'm going to put on a time shift. So this is time shift here. You hit time shift, you choose how much of it that you want, like so, and then you can choose the speed of it. So let me zoom in on this. It's not done quite yet. All right, so here we go. I got it at 64. That's a little aggressive. So I'm going to put it down to 16. And I want the motion blur on there. There we go. Now, in the preview, it's not going to show you. It's going to do pretty much like a 2x speed is all that it's really going to do. But once we render it, you're going to see quite a bit of difference than what this is right here. So I am going to go and I am going to render this just to show you. I'm going to go stick with ultra wide like that. All right, video's done. So here's a speed ramp. As you can see, it does a really nice job with the blur. And that's a speed ramp. It did add some color to this, but again, it's taken in log mode and it's very overcast today. So I will add color to that in post when I put it into Premiere. This is for the 360 video that I took with the One R. So let's see, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to grab the video from today. And I'm just going to drag it over here. And it's going to import them off of the card. Alright, so this is the 360 video. Now you see me here clapping because I'm actually syncing it up with this camera here so I can show both of it. So now this is pretty much the raw form of it. Nothing's been edited whatsoever. So over here you have the stitching. So if you're running lens guards or any of these type of things for it, you can actually adjust the stitching, which is, as you notice, the seam is right there. One of the nice things about 360 video and using the One R is that you literally capture everything. Every bit of it. You don't have to move a camera. You don't have to worry about a camera moving. You don't have to do any of that. You can just simply tell the software to actually track an object. So now it's actually coming in here and it's it's literally tracking my face. And it's going to stay on my face. Now, it kind of moves around weird and stuff like that, which isn't really much of a big deal, but I think it looks really, really slick and does a really good job with tracking my face. Now, you don't have to only track a face. Watch this. I can track this object. Now it does some weird stuff. It's not perfect. It's really designed to track like a body or like a face or something like that is really what it's designed to track. So if you come up here, you can put the flow state stabilization, and then you can do direction lock. So that means no matter what, no matter how that camera was spun, moved, or anything, it's always going to be locked right here. And it makes it nice and smooth. Now, another thing you can do And this is where it gets really fun. Keyframes. So right here, I'm going to put this keyframe right on my face. But I don't want it, I want it zoomed in a little bit. There we go. Now it's zoomed in a little bit more, or I can zoom it out really far. So it just depends on what you want. You can also do a tiny planet, which is comical. Or do crystal ball. Or you can do fisheye. And fisheye doesn't look too bad. I actually don't mind fisheye too much. But I want to go for more of a natural feel. So I set the camera to that. Now we're going to just keep going at it like this. And let's see, I put the drone over on the table. So that means I'm going to fly it here in a second. So I want to add another keyframe. I want it exactly the same place that I'm at right now. And now I'm going to move forward just a little bit. Add a second or a third keyframe. But I want it to be right there on the quad. And there we go. So now it's stuck there on the quad. That's where the camera is going to be. Now you can change up some of the different little fade in, fade out, you know, kind of transitions when it goes from my face and pans and tilts over towards the quad. And let's see how that looks. So it's on my face, unfortunately. And as you can see, so here's another little trick that I can do too, is, let's see, the area where I actually set it down, it got set down right there. Let me move it back just a little bit. Now I can drag this back to there. Now watch. So now it kind of tracks my hand. It kind of tracks the quad as I go to set it down, which is a nice little feature. And that's all done with timing, and it's done with these keyframes. So now I want to add another keyframe here, just for my sake, because this is going to start up here in a second and fly off. So, okay, that's where it flew off. So I'm going to add another keyframe at the same location, just that way everything stays the same and it's not slowly panning from here to there. It's actually just going to pan from there to where it goes to take off at. So I'm going to skip forward here. So now it's starting to take off. My glasses just blew away. So let's find a good view for seeing this thing flying in the air. Zoom in a little bit. Let's do that right there. Just like that. So now I'm going to add keyframe to there. And now that's going to actually be at that angle for when it takes off. So let's watch. And there we go. So now that that's done, I'm going to add another keyframe from this angle here, where it's sitting. And now I'm going to bring it back to my face. Oh, hold on. Oops, see it? See, I messed up there. So I'm going to trash this. I don't need this. So I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to press the delete button, get rid of it. Let me move back to where I'm supposed to be, right there. All right, quad's gone. So I'm going to add that here. I'm going to move forward just a little bit to my ugly mug. Add another keyframe. Hit the normal view. There we go. So now the way that that works is after it takes off and flies away, it's going to pan and tilt back to my face. Here's something else we can do here. Right now this is on a smooth dissolve. This is a slide in fade. So let's change that to a slide in fade. Go back and see what the difference is. Can you tell the difference? It's a little faster, which I kind of like. All right, so that's good. It's got a little speed ramp in the middle of it. That's kind of cool. All right, let's see. Fade in, slip out. So that means it's going to go slow and then speed up to the point of getting to that. That actually works really well for this transition. Slip in, slip out. Let's see what that does. Fast, slow. Goes really slow. And then it speeds up. Okay. Fade in, fade out. So it's gonna. This one is going to be slow on me, and it's going to speed up in the center, and then it's going to slow down at the end. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And then there's none. So let's see what none does. None probably just zips it over, or just, yeah. There's no transition. It just talks. I talk, and then bam, it's over at the other spot. Which is not bad at all. That's actually a really good transition, depending on what you're trying to get. If you don't want to show a lot of this junk in between, like for instance, you don't want to show this crap over here, then none would just bring you from here to there. Which is like, actually, it'd be like you switch to a different camera, is how that effect is. Which is actually kind of nice. I've never honestly noticed that one before. And I like that. And that's it. I mean, that's how you would use these different transitions. That's how you would use the keyframes. Again, you have, like I showed you in the other one, you have the speed up, the time shift, where you can speed up certain things. It does really nice motion blur, and that's really useful if you want to just say, you're, like for instance, at the beginning, if I'm setting something up or getting ready and stuff like that, it's kind of nice to do like a time shift. It'd be kind of like a time lapse in a sense. It just speeds everything up, which is kind of cool. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that you can actually change the aspect ratio when you're in 360 mode. So right here, the normal is 16:9. But if you want 4:3, you can also make it 4:3. It doesn't really matter too much when you're talking about a 360 video, because a 360 actually captures everything all around you in 360 degree spherical view. So going 4:3, the only reason you would do that is if the rest of your video is 4:3 and you want to avoid having this run at 16:9 and have, you know, kind of black on the top and black on the bottom, you know, kind of having to alleviate dead space. That's the only real reason why you would do that with this. 1:1, you know, again, not really needed. I generally do 16:9. Now, here's something that's kind of cool. You can do 9:16. That would be for, like, if you wanted to use this video on, let's say, Instagram. An Instagram video, here you go. You already have the format for Instagram video. I'm going to go back to 16:9 because that's what I'm recording in. And I'm going to export this. That's it.
Okay, well, this is the end of today's video, and I hope that it was very useful and helpful for somebody. It wasn't like your normal, like, in-depth, technical, crazy review. It was more of kind of how my reviews are. I kind of give you just my view, kind of a real-world type thing. Technical aspects of it are easily found online. There's specs like you wouldn't believe for just about every single thing out there in the world. I don't want to give that kind of review. Everybody does that type of review. I'm giving you how I feel in my experience and kind of putting you in my shoes of how I use my products. Again, everything here that I'm showing you was paid for by me and only by me. Nothing was given to me, and I hope you guys enjoy, and gals, sorry, and have a great one. See you next time.